game plan. Well, it's a line that you sing in Boys Latin.
Mm-hmm.
Beasts don't have a second to think.
Yeah.
What do you mean with this line compared to what you just said?
That was about, I was thinking about animals and how there's kind of a nobility to how there's no sort of intermediary thoughts about anything. It's just instinctual response. And there's a kind of purity to that. Whereas when I was thinking about people and myself, how we kind of get lost in all this middle ground stuff between, we can get lost in our minds about what really matters, I feel like. So it was a bit, the song is a bit about comparing humans and animals and trying to find the best in both worlds.
Well, your name is called Panda Bear.
Mm-hmm.
Wolves. Well, you refer to a lot. Is there some sort of longing, maybe, then to some sort of more instinctiveness that animals have?
I think there's certainly a longing to remove all the clutter that I feel like I get involved in mentally. Yeah.
Is it does music help, or?
For sure, yeah. Music is, or, I mean, if it is going well, it can be sort of a highway to that state of mind that I feel like is devoid of any kind of superfluous nonsense.
I don't know if it's true, but yeah, is goed. Only a few minutes. I thought, and then correct me if I'm wrong, the last song, As It Was, is this some sort of, well, closure, some sort of last trip that people might do?
I hadn't gone into making the song or the album even thinking that that would be the last song or that it would be sort of a statement that would kind of tie everything that came before it. But once we'd finished all the songs, I felt like it would make a good kind of last chapter to the story that I felt like was represented once we put that sequence together. And it does feel a bit like addressing all the other songs and sort of this arc that kind of gets created by the way the songs work together. It does feel a bit like a closing statement, I guess you could say. But it wasn't, I didn't go into it thinking it would be that.
What triggered this song then, do you know?
I had the sort of synthesizer part written for a while. I think I made it while I was traveling. Where the words came from is difficult to describe. I feel like a lot of times a lot of sort of subconscious stuff will come out, especially because I'll have these singing parts that don't have words, and as I was saying, I'll try to fit some words that really fit that specific rhythmic structure. And oftentimes I'll just kind of spit out phrases that I won't maybe not fully understand at first. So I couldn't say that I had been thinking about making a song like that, and certainly didn't have a game plan for that song being like that. But it was one of the last songs I did.
There's
So
a line.
so perhaps it was just that.
There was a line on a rope strung on a crossing, the Gulf.
Mhm.
For me, it's because the album is called Grim Reaper, Meets the Grim Reaper. I thought it was some sort of passing of the, well, like the old saying is passing of the Osiris. I don't know what it's called. Is it? Is it something that
That's interesting. I didn't thought of that. That specific line comes from I had seen on the television some a guy who he had strung on these cliffs. He had strung a line in between this big kind of chasm, and did like a balancing kind of thing and walked across. And when he was finished, he looked back at the big empty space and was just like yelling at it in this really sort of primal, intense way. And I thought that was a really cool image, and sort of thought of it as like this, when we have challenges, approaching things in that sort of way. It is a bit animalistic, I suppose, but I like that image to start the song. That ultimately would be kind of this closure moment, hopefully, for the album.
Did you also feel once the album was closed, did you also sort of feel some sort of need to express your feelings? Well, I've finished this work, or is it for you? Is it really easy to finish it?
No, easy was not the word I would use to describe the process. More than anything, I just felt relief once it was over. Feeling really like satisfied and happy about it came later. The first feeling was definitely just relief that the thing was finished, and that I actually finished it at all was a relief for sure.
And why?
You go through so many ups and downs making something, and sometimes you feel like it's not going to get finished or it's not going to be good. Once that initial rush of excitement about making the thing passes, you're kind of left with all this stuff, some of which is doubts and fears about various things. So, and the longer that goes on, the more intense those voices become. So, just feeling like I'd set out to do this thing in a specific way, and having it be finished felt good, but very, very much like a relief.
So no need to yell at the big space that resembles creating the album.
There was a moment I remember listening back to a bunch of the mixes where there was a specific moment where I felt like it was a successful thing. And I remember dancing around the room a little bit. It wasn't aggressive, though. Not in an aggressive way.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.